Senator Lindsey Graham just died mysteriously last night. And I say mysteriously because he didn't seem to be in poor health at all. Lindsey Graham is live on TV for hours a day. He was just in Ukraine. That is a very long trip to take. He was in Ukraine doing meetings, high-level meetings with Zelensky and traveling around the country. Not the kind of thing that Joe Biden could even do, right? Not the kind of thing that Mitch McConnell could ever do. Lindsey Graham was live on camera. He did hours worth of press conferences just yesterday. He was booked for Meet the Press this morning. So what happened there? Obviously, Lindsey Graham has a lot of enemies. He's somebody who is a neocon. He somebody who certainly was about American empire and might, and he was threatening the Iranian regimes, threatening the Russians, and threatening, frankly, the establishment of the Senate because he loved Donald Trump so much. I know that they ran against each other in 2016, but there's no doubt, and everybody in the administration says this, that Lindsey Graham was the closest senator to Donald Trump. They golfed practically every single weekend. And Donald Trump just blew the doors off of the mystery around Lindsey Graham's death by going live on TV in a show that Lindsey Graham was booked for. He called in, the president did, and just announced something that has stunned the world about the SAVE Act. This is really remarkable. Just a quick note, and then this is happening at time of recording. This was just announced. FBI is assisting in a probe of Lindsey Graham's mysterious death after a Ukrainian trip and chilling Iran murder plot. Again, Iran was pretty public about putting a target on Lindsey Graham's face. They literally put a target on his head and then put it up on a big poster board and walked it around. And so I don't know what to make of this. His family says a brief and sudden illness. Well, that's strange. Again, because just hours ago, Lindsey Graham was doing press conferences for 120 straight minutes, traveling around the world, seemed to be in really good shape. And Donald Trump is here saying that the SAVE Act was in really good shape and that Lindsey Graham was supposed to meet with him today to talk about how they were going to pass the SAVE Act. Trump just announced that Lindsey Graham told him we were all set for the Save America Act and that he would be the vote that got it over the finish line. What? Listen to this.
President Trump, thank you for joining us, and my condolences to you.
Well, thank you. He's a tough one to lose. He was great. He was unique in every way, actually.
He was, Mr. President, and I know that we are all just absorbing this news. We are all in shock. Can you tell us, Mr. President, how you received this news and your immediate gut reaction when you heard it?
So what makes it even stranger is that I got a call last night sometime at, the early evening, maybe in the 7s. And he called and he said, we're all set for the Save America Act. He was pushing the Save America Act like crazy. He got back, said he just landed from Ukraine. I said, that's a long trip to make. He said, he sounded a little tired, but perfect, but a little bit tired. Had a right to be. And he was a worker. No, he was really a worker, but he sounded great, actually. But he actually said he was tired, but he wanted to pass the Save America Act. And I said, well, we're going to get it done, Lindsey. We're going to get it done. I'll see you soon. We thought maybe we might even meet today. And then that was it. And that was, very around the time. It couldn't have been much longer. It could have been his last call. I don't know exactly, but I got a message about 1:00 in the morning from one of the people at his office that he had passed away. I said, you got it. I just can't.
Donald Trump went on live television to honor a dead senator and turned it into a sales pitch for his own agenda. Senator Lindsey Graham died suddenly Saturday night, cardiac arrest. He was 71. He just landed from a trip to Kyiv hours earlier. And before the country could even process that, Trump was already on the phone with Meet the Press and CNN, telling America what this death really means to him. He told NBC that Graham called him about the Save America Act right before he died. And then Trump said on national television, and I need you to hear this clearly, this is a big blow to the Save America Act. A man just died, and the first thing the president calculates is what that death costs his legislative agenda. Not his legacy, not his service, not his family. The political math That tells you everything you need to know about how this president sees people. You are either useful to him or you are irrelevant.
Okay, just watch this. Lindsey Graham dropped dead minutes after Donald Trump spoke with him. Authorities citing sudden cardiac arrest. Trump, sounding sickly and rattled, called into CNN claiming he was the last person Graham talked to, praising his defense of Brett Kavanaugh and how Graham was poised to help ram through the Save America Act, Trump's voter suppression bill. Out of respect for his dead friend, Trump dodged questions about the escalating war with Iran and the closed Strait of Hormuz, yet bragged about hitting Iran hard and insisted it was open as far as we're concerned. Even as CENTCOM's own data and shipping traffic proved the opposite. The hawkish Graham, who pushed wars, nuclear options for Gaza, and endless aid to Israel, is now mourned by Netanyahu as a patriot for funneling more American taxpayer money their way. Trump's awkward dodges, the blatant lies about the strait, and the humiliation of U.S. bases getting struck expose a chaotic regime flailing, while Graham's death delivers a real blow to Trump's legislative plans.
Donald J. Trump saved the world from real chaos. Witkoff, the negotiator, was told by the Iranians openly that they have stockpiled enough 60% enriched uranium, 460 kilograms, to make 11 bombs. Thank God Trump did this. Can you imagine a year from now? What would it cost America if Iran had 11 nuclear bombs to threaten us? They would hold us hostage. We would be held hostage in perpetuity by this terrorist regime.
And that was South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham's last appearance with me here on this program back in early March, supporting the president's Operation Epic Fury against Iran. Senator Graham passed away last night after what his office described as a brief and sudden illness. Senator Lindsey Graham was 71 years old.
I mean, he literally called me about the Save America Act. That's why he's, that's where I heard. Think of it. He's traveling for many, many hours. That's a long flight. That's a long trip. And he, calls me about the Save America Act. He thought we were going to get it passed.
Do you remember
This is a big blow to the Save America Act, let me tell you. I got a call last night sometime at, the early evening, maybe in the 7s. And he called and he said, we're all set for the Save America Act. He was pushing the Save America Act like crazy. He wanted to pass the Save America Act. And I said, well, we're going to get it done, Lindsey. We're going to get it done. I'll see you soon.
You guys, stop what you're doing. You're going to want to hear this. So a few hours ago, I made a post letting y'all know that Senator Lindsey Graham has passed away. Well, Donald Trump just responded to it. And it is such an insincere post. Like, it's so mind-boggling how this man thinks. And this is like how he talks every single day, because if you look at every single one of his posts, this is exactly what he says continuously. Here's his statement. On Temu Twitter, he said, Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known, is dead. First of all, that sentence is so off. Why does he have, I don't know. That sentence is just weird in itself, at least to me. Moreover, he said he was always working and was a true American patriot. Lindsey will be greatly missed. Details and arrangements to follow. So sad. President Donald J. Trump. I'm a communications major. And that word dead is just so, it's unnecessary. There's other words you could use. Passed away. Just my opinion. And then the so sad and the exclamation point. He did not mean that. I know he didn't. But yeah, that was his response to Senator Lindsey Graham's death. It's not the news that I was expecting. I was expecting to hear something from Mitch McConnell. But this is where we are now on Sunday, July 12th, 2026. I was recording in my bed. Now I'm at the airport. But let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if I'm crazy about that statement or not, and follow along for more.
The world reeling from the sudden death of Senator Lindsey Graham. Joining us now on the phone is President Trump to talk about his friend and ally. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously quite a shock. The senator was a close ally of yours. He referred to himself as your North Star, the Trump guy in the Senate. What are your thoughts about Lindsey Graham this morning?
Well, it's devastating. I thought he was fine. He called me last night. He just got back from Ukraine, and he had a great trip. He was telling me about the trip. He was pushing very, very hard. You probably know he wanted to do the Save America Act that he was talking about that. He was full of vim and vigor. He was tired. He said, "I'm tired," because it's a long trip. But other than that, he was fine. And he called me, I guess, just moments before, because he called me like at 6:30 or something, and the medical people got there a little bit later, right after that. What a terrible loss it is. He was a great politician. He was a natural. There are very few of them. He was a natural politician. Got along with everybody. When he didn't, he was very tough. He was a tough cookie too, but he got along with everybody. He was a strong advocate for Save America, and that's what he called me about last time.
We appreciate your time, sir. Before I let you go, is there any other final word that you want the American people to know about Lindsey Graham? What was it about?
No, I think his finest moment was his defense of Brett Kavanaugh, who's a terrific guy, and was treated very, very unfairly by the Democrats, very unfair. I've never seen anything like it. Maybe the worst I've ever seen anyone treated. That includes me. Well, maybe not me, but it includes just about everybody. He was treated so unfairly, and Lindsey, as you remember, had that moment. And, I'll tell you, Jake, I think it was a top 10, maybe a top 5 moment in the history of the Senate. It was an incredible display. And he did it from the heart. He felt strongly about Brett, and he did it from the heart. And it turned that whole thing around. He was really amazing. That was one they should replay.
When you pass on, everyone talk good about you. Everyone. Even if you're a bad person, at least someone would come and say, this guy was good, this guy was this and this. But Lindsey Graham helped Donald Trump to achieve his goals in some of the sectors. So it's a very, very big blow for him.
All right, folks. Again, Trump just can't seem to really muster the energy to make a persuasive case that he cared about Lindsey Graham as a person. Again, we saw it from earlier today. We saw Benjamin Netanyahu do it. It's just like he's just a prop, both in life and in death. It's kind of strange. So with that in mind, let's dive in.
As you just mentioned, he died right after returning to Washington, D.C. from a trip to Ukraine. It was his 10th trip there. He was a strong belief in interventionism, a staunch defender of Israel, staunch advocate for Zelensky. How influential was he with you when it came to foreign policy?
Well, we disagreed a little bit, but overall, I'm a big Israel person. He was certainly that. I wanted to see the war with Ukraine end very quickly. I think he was more into, keeping it going. Frankly, he was very, very militant having to do with that. But I was
just like, what?
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has died. He was 71 years old. His office confirmed he died Saturday evening from a, quote, brief and sudden illness. NBC News reports emergency crews respond to a call for possible cardiac arrest at Graham's Capitol Hill home Saturday night. The longtime senator had just returned from a trip to Ukraine where he met with President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday, and he had been scheduled to appear on Meet the Press this morning. On Truth Social, President Donald Trump called Graham, quote, one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known and a true American patriot. The senator's family now asking for prayers and privacy during this difficult time. Again, Senator Lindsey Graham passing away suddenly Saturday night in Washington at the age of 71.
Donald Trump went on live television to honor a dead senator. But this time, I think he's thinking of the Iran war. The guy is stressed. Let us see how these guys are reacting.
Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously quite a shock. The senator was a close ally of yours. He referred to himself as your North Star, the Trump guy in the Senate. What are your thoughts about Lindsey Graham this morning?
Well, it's devastating. I thought he was fine. He called me last night. He just got back from Ukraine, and he had a great trip. He was telling me about the trip. He was pushing very, very hard. You probably know he wanted to do the Save America Act that he was talking about that. He was full of vim and vigor. He was tired. He said, I'm tired because it's a long trip. But other than that, he was he was fine. And he called me, I guess, just moments before, because he called me like at 6:30 or something, and the medical people got there a little bit later, right after that. What a terrible loss it is. He was a great politician. He was a natural. There are very few of them. He was a natural politician. Got along with everybody. When he didn't, he was very tough. He was a tough cookie too, but he got along with everybody. He was coming aboard, I think, for the filibuster, terminating the filibuster. But before we did that, he was a strong advocate for Save America. And that's what he called me about last night. I mean, I think of it. I spoke to him he had already landed. He was probably at his place. I don't know where he was, but I spoke to him. And then I got a call a few hours later saying, late in the evening, at 2 o'clock in the morning, actually. But they found out about it, I think, about 8 o'clock. About his problem. But so it had to be something very quick, because he was fine. Other than being tired, he was fine.
He obviously was very supportive of the strikes against Iran. The U.S. and Iran have been engaging back and forth in strikes over the last few days and overnight. Are we back at war? And who controls the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, I don't want to, out of respect for Lindsey, I'm not talking about them. We hit him very hard last night, so I don't want to talk about it. But I will say we hit him very hard last night. We had to deal with them yesterday. They were giving up everything. And then all of a sudden, 2 hours after that, they hit a ship with a drone. And I said, these people, there's something wrong with them. But I'm talking about a man who had nothing wrong with him, and that's Lindsey Graham.
Iran has declared the Strait of Hormuz closed. Is that true, Mr. President?
It's open as far as we're concerned. Don't talk about it. Talk about the reason that you asked me to speak.
Okay.
So y'all's president was talking to Christian Welker, and he said that he has spoken to Lindsey last night at about 7 o'clock. The president said it was in the sevens when he spoke to him, and he said that Lindsey said to him, "Oh, we're gonna pass the SAVE Act. We're good to go with the SAVE Act." So he was prepared to come back. He had just come back from Ukraine. He was prepared to come back and help get the SAVE Act passed. The president went on to talk about the fact that Lindsey was, very helpful to him in communicating with Democrats and Republicans alike in the Senate, and helpful when he needed a problem to be worked out, and how he was basically a member of the family and everything. He said he's stunned and he's shocked. And he said he may or may not have been the last phone call Lindsey had, because then he said at 1 o'clock in the morning he got the call from Lindsey's office that he had passed. Now, for all intents and purposes, it sounded like he passed of a cardiac arrest, massive heart attack or something, because they're saying that 911 was dispatched to his house and said that somebody was in cardiac arrest. Was not on my bingo card. Was not on my bingo card. And what a legacy. Listen, it's an interesting legacy. I said not that long ago that there are two Americas. People are having different experiences. And while people are saying, oh, he was a statesman and he was a great politician, and okay. All right. Okay now. All right, Lady Lindsey.
Lindsey Graham has been a household name in US politics for the past 3 decades. He's been a really big supporter of American military intervention overseas, from Iraq and Afghanistan to more recently Ukraine and Iran. Donald Trump has described him as a true American patriot, one of the best people he's ever known. But they haven't always been BFFs. Lindsey Graham actually ran against Donald Trump in 2015 for the Republican nomination for president. And in an interview, Lindsey Graham said that the best thing Donald Trump can do for America is to go to hell. Then after the Capitol riots right outside this building in 2021, Lindsey Graham said enough is enough. But things have changed. Donald Trump brought Lindsey Graham into his inner circle. So he's made friends with Donald Trump, but he's also made friends with other world leaders as well. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel has lost a great friend in Lindsey Graham. And Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky said that Lindsey Graham was a great defender of freedom.
President Trump says he spoke to Senator Lindsey Graham last night on the phone before his passing. The president stated that after Lindsey Graham had returned from Ukraine, he called him to discuss the passing of the SAVE Act. The president was in absolute shock to find out about the passing of Graham. Lindsey Graham was a staunch Trump supporter. President Trump told NBC News' Meet the Press this morning that Lindsey Graham was like his family. President Trump stated that other than Lindsey Graham being tired, he was fine. President Trump said that him and Lindsey Graham had plans to meet soon, possibly even today. In a separate interview on CNN, President Trump said that Lindsey Graham was talking to him about his trip. He told him he had a great trip. President Trump said that Lindsey Graham could be a tough cookie. Lindsey Graham was scheduled to be on Meet the Press today after his trip from Ukraine. I did not agree with all of Lindsey Graham's politics, but I definitely think he was one hell of a senator. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday. God bless you.
This is a TikTok only video. Let's talk about Lindsey Graham and his passing. Oh wait, we can't. So Texas Paul, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. Yeah, we can't. We can't. There's something going on. I think TikTok, our community here, there's something going on here. I don't know if this is the algorithm. I don't know if it's a bunch of right-wingers reporting my shit. But like 2 days ago, I got a video taken down for bullying that was not bullying. It's up on every other platform. And I guess that's the real slap in the face, is that the fake accounts that emulate me, that just pretend to be me, will go to other platforms and download my videos and upload them on their platform, their pages here on TikTok, and they won't get taken down. But if I post the same video, I get a ding on my account. I get my video taken down. There's something very wrong here, and I hate it because I love TikTok. I started here years ago. I love TikTok, but there's something very broken that you will not show my own followers my own videos. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me. They're saying, why don't you post on TikTok anymore? And I have to tell them, I post every day. Every day. The algorithm will not show you my content. It's just broken. There's some of us that are targeted, they're trying to shut us down. I have videos that I've got 180, 200,000, 250,000 on other platforms that I don't have the follower base that I have here, but TikTok will not show you the videos here. So unfortunately, if you want to see salty me, you've got to go somewhere else. And I hate that because I love TikTok. I love TikTok. And I hate that I get videos that are up on every other platform that are taken down here for harassment. It's always harassment and bullying. I'm bullying no one. Come on, TikTok, do better. Do better.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.